Hello once again. As I've said before, I would stop making videos simply because few people watch and people very rarely comment. However, all of a sudden my viewing figures have doubled and I've had a few welcome comments too. And I think the increase is down to you guys hitting the like button. So please keep smashing it. Just do that and like, and it's good for the algorithm. And it also encourages me to make more videos. I apologise. I've got a sore throat, and it's nice to be in that time now where you don't think, oh God, I've got the dreaded lurgy. It's not. It's just a cold or whatever it is. I always try not to say anything too controversial for fear of being banned by the Iron Curtain of truth inhibitors. I'm sure you know what I mean. And I must say, I'm very pleased to say that on my list of contacts, I have at least 3 people who I went to school with. I won't mention any names, but I'm sure you'll know who you are. Been a long time. I must say my school days weren't my best days. I didn't enjoy school at all, apart from the practical lessons in woodwork and metalwork. And my proper education only started when I left school, and it still continues to this day. Thankfully, because of the internet, and I just can't get enough of it. But be very aware that there are charlatans everywhere. Politicians and the institutions behind them are especially to be avoided. Next to that, the mainstream media that propagandise everything and just encourage mass hysteria on the social media networks, stirring up people to have their say and then banning them if they say the wrong groupthink. That's why I left Facebook, or should I say, to Facebook. And during my brief education as a boy, I was never very good at passing exams, but it never stopped me from thinking critically and asking pertinent questions, even at the cost of embarrassment at the time. In today's world, we are being deliberately divided by absolutely everything. And it's all part of a very ancient rule called divide and conquer. And we are being divided by many, many things. Sex, for one thing. And I'm sure you know the score there, where we now need to be a biologist to define a woman. And if you write an article or a book, you're immediately asked to define your pronouns before it's accepted by the woke publishers. Unbelievable. And what's going on there is essentially, it's not book burning, but it's book censorship, even before it's written. And talking about book censorship, it reminds me of a brilliant film called The Book Thief. Good book and a film. And it takes place in Germany during the war. Their side of the story with the bombing. And it's a very unusual book because the narrator, excuse me, the narrator of the book is death. And death is telling the story of fate we all have to face one day. I encourage you to watch that film. It's brilliant. If nothing else, it will make you think. And then we have the race division. If you're middle class and white, you are privileged, and you should therefore feel shame for being so. Yeah, I can recall a lot of my boyhood of seeing abject poverty in families. So that's absolutely nonsense. And people in recent times taking the knee at sports matches for a drug-crazed criminal in America. And it's been politicised globally. And in my humble opinion, it hasn't done race relations any good at all. In fact, it's a crying shame that race relations have gone back 50 years because of that. And then we had Brexit. That divided us once again into Remainers and Leavers. And it harshly divided families and even husbands and wives. Trust me on that. And it still rankles on. Meanwhile, the EU is actually disintegrating as we watch. And then came the medical division between those that complied and those that didn't. Those that didn't were demonised and shunned, called granny killers, and were excluded from society and ridiculed by enthusiastic virtue signalling celebrities, including the Queen. Now it seems that the chicken is coming home to roost, and only time will be the true witness of future events. That's a fact. Excuse me. The next division was a declaration that we must all hate another country and the people in it for no reason whatsoever. If you didn't, then you would be declared an enemy of the state. Now, I won't be told who I must hate. In fact, I hate no one. I might dislike a few people, but that's just a personal thing between me and them, including family. Being told to hate another race is another thing, and there's some evil history involving the murder of millions by Nazis. Now, you may support the apparent underdog here. I'm sure you know what I mean. But just beware of a street name in the capital of this country. And oddly enough, it's on the same street as IKEA. And the name of the street is Stefan Bandera Avenue. And the man is seen as a hero in this country. But please look him up. It may surprise you to learn that he was, in fact, a Nazi sympathiser responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths of Russians, Jews, Gypsies and gays. Look him up. The last division is between globalists and the supporters of a multipolar world where no one country rules the world. And colonialism, it's a difficult word to say, especially when you've had some medication. Colonialism must end, and that means the end of the American hegemony that has brought so much misery to many countries throughout the world. Now, you only have to look around the world to see what's being planned. Klaus Schwab and his band of merry men, all his globalist friends, want total control, and they want to reduce the population. You and I are the carbon that they want to reduce. Make no mistake about that. And something that describes the globalist world perfectly is a film made by Rick Mayall. And I'm sure you all remember Rick Mayall from The Young Ones, a brilliant comedian. And I'll leave a link to the video. And the film, it's only a brief video, but the film is called One by One. And it's a truly forward-looking dystopian world we seem to have inherited and are going into. And Rick Mayall's words at the end of this film, when he talks to the camera, are hair-raising, because he died suddenly not long after the film was made. And as I said, I'm sure you'll recognise Rick Mayall for his comedy. But behind the comedian was a very intelligent man who had an insight into the world and its disturbing secrets. I'll leave that link under more in bold letters. Of course, this is purely my opinion, and I'm sticking my neck out at a risk of being wrong. But I'm certainly not afraid of being wrong. What really scares me the most is being right. But just remember that even the most tyrannical times always end, and good always ends up conquering bad. Thank you for listening. May your God bless you. Sleep tight. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.